Hi friends, it's me Sandy. It's been a while since I've been on YouTube, and I am going to talk a little bit about why that's been. I haven't shared on it, and also I'm having friends start to reach out to me because when you start getting in times of crisis and that sort of thing, you kind of go for those people that you have heard in the past that either have talked about certain things, how to prepare, people that have had good sound advice, whatever, and it makes them feel comfortable anyway, gives them a little bit of peace, I should say. And so, yeah. I'm going to talk about those things too. So I asked for questions over on Instagram, and I put a little video here yesterday and asked if anybody had any questions. I'll read those questions. So this video is going to be long because I did get some good questions. One of the questions I did get was, what kind of staples would I recommend stocking up on in this time of crisis that we're in? And I would just say on that, I'm going to do a separate video on that and talk about some things, because it'll just make the video too long. So anyway, so I want to introduce myself for new subscribers here on YouTube. Since I've been gone for a while, I've gotten new subscribers, and I just want to introduce myself, talk a little bit about myself for a few minutes. My name is Sandy. I'm a mom of 4. I have a grandson. My husband's now retired. I'm a pastor, and I've just done a lot of projects on this channel, a lot of cooking, that sort of thing. I got 4 boxers and 2 cats. So I have featured a lot of my life. I've shared a lot of my life here. And I've always been very truthful, been very raw. You'll see me with makeup looking decent, and you'll see me without makeup and that sort of thing. Just like right now, I got my pajama shirt. I mean, we're all living in our pajamas, right? So I got my pajama shirt on, my pajama pants, and so I'm sitting here to answer questions for you. So without now further ado, I am going to start with the first question, and this is over on Instagram, and I'm going to have to take my glasses off so that I can read, okay? So this is from Lindsay. You said, what are you doing in your time at home during this pandemic? I'm a stay-at-home mom, homeschooling mom, so I am used to being at home during the day and doing school at home with my boys. However, just knowing you can't or don't need to go out at all will do a number on you after a while. What meals are you cooking? Stay safe. And then you said, miss seeing your videos and learning from you. Thank you. So, and I'm going to give you a little heart there. The first question, what am I doing at my time, with my time at home with this pandemic? Well, first and foremost, what I'm doing is I'm taking a look at myself. And I have mentioned in the past, it's always good that we take a look at ourselves. What changes do we need to make in our life? What can we do to change things to make us just be better people and that sort of thing. I've been doing that for the longest time, but I'm doing it even more so now. I'm trying to really make sure I'm making everything right with God and everything. And I'll talk a little bit more about this later, because I'm going to give my take on everything going on. And of course, I'm going to be giving it from my beliefs, from my point of view, and even as a pastor. So I'll share about those things a little bit later. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of that, but I'm doing a lot of cleaning. I'm doing a lot of prep work. Some of the prepping now is done because you can't really go out. I went to a lot of different grocery stores, and I'm sure most of you you know, you have to keep going to store after store until you find the things that you want, and having to go out often. Now, I haven't had to go out often here over the last couple weeks that things have gotten bad, because I saw the writing on the wall when the problem was in China, and I was saying, ooh, that's not good. And then it started going to different places because of air travel, and people started getting it. And then I was like, this really isn't good. And then as soon as the first couple cases showed up in the United States, I said, this is bad, because this is a bad virus. It's going to go crazy. And it has. But see, I saw the writing on the wall in February. And so I'm just going to make this real short. For those of you that you've been following my channel for a long time, you know that I'm not a prepper. I don't want to call myself a prepper, but I am a preparer. I'm a person that has always foreseen that there would be some sort of danger that would come, some sort of a crisis, and that you have to be prepared, and that you have to stock up on things. And so, yeah, I have done that over the years. Now, with what we're doing now, as far as when I was prepping and so forth for this crisis, is pretty basically your perishable things. See, long-term storage, your non-perishables, loads of those things. So I didn't need to, you know, I think I bought 1 bag of rice. I don't need any rice. I don't need the beans, none of those sorts of things. My focus was on dairy, on cheese, on butter, on eggs, and things like that. And what I've been doing over the last couple weeks, because I only have 3 ice trays, you know, you can freeze eggs. And you just crack an egg into your ice tray. But eggs are so big, the yolk usually goes in one compartment and the white spills into the compartment in front of it. And you just do that. And with 3 ice trays, I can freeze 2 dozen eggs at one time. And I think I have about maybe 13 dozen eggs frozen right now in my freezer outside. So I've been doing things like that. And just other perishable things. And because I'm not a hoarder, and I want to talk about that later in this terminology of hoarding and my take on it and everything. But yeah, because, you know, you do have to save things for other people. So I would go to one store and I'd just go get a couple different things, you know. And then I would go to another store and then pick up 1 or 2 items of things that I needed. So I kind of spread it out a little bit. And then I went shopping seriously like 2-3 times a week in the beginning, just getting things. But I'll just say this, after the first week, other people were starting to catch on, and the shelves were starting to go bare. Like, it was hard to get like disinfectant wipes and face masks and things like that. And then, of course, about another week or so after that, then the shelves really started to get bare with toilet paper and paper towels and things like that. And now the store shelves are just, you know, kind of bare until they get some stock put in. So I've been doing that, you know, been freezing my eggs, I've been organizing all the prep things that I have bought, and, you know, getting all of that organized in my house, and just cleaning and things like that. I did a big purge throughout my house and my 2 sheds in 2019, where I had junk removal guys come because I had so much stuff. I was just, you know, getting rid of a lot of Christmas and stuff. So I've done a lot of decluttering in my house. So I'm just really just sticking to like basic cleaning right now. I'll probably start spring cleaning here pretty soon. So that's pretty basically what I'm doing. As far as my meals, what kind of meals is I'm making? Well, right now, because I really have a good amount of everything that I use for meals. So I'm just cooking normally, but I'm trying to stretch my meals. Like when I'd have leftover meat and that sort of thing, if I could use it in something else like the next day or the following day, I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to stretch my meals, finding out clever ways to, you know, do things like that. For example, we had roast a couple days ago. And so we just had roast and mashed potatoes, that sort of thing. Today, I took the leftover roast and I had put in carrots and some other things, and I made a stew with it, and I made fresh bread, so things like that. I'm trying to stretch my meals. I'm not letting things go to waste. I'm not letting leftovers go to waste. And I've talked before about leftovers. When I have a good amount of something that's left over, I will put it in freezer bags, and I'll go outside and I'll freeze it, so that I'm not wasting. And then I have emergency meals, like, if I need to just pull something out of the freezer and heat it up, I have that. So that's basically what I've been doing there. And then let's see, who else? Oh, Flor de Monica. You asked, what are your pantry staples, must-haves? I'll get to that in the next video. Because like I said, it's kind of, and the answer's not going to be the same for everybody, but it's a little bit, it needs its own video to explain it. Let's just put it that way. But I will do that video after this one, so I will get to that. Michelle, you said, I am looking for tips on how to make the most of my pantry supply. I've had a hard time trying to put meals together. Well, I'll talk a little bit about this now, but then in the next video, I'll probably go over certain things. See, the difficult thing is, I don't know what all of you out there have stocked up on. Now, in the past, when I've talked about stocking up on things, and I always recommended for years, stock up on things, always have things set aside for a state of emergency, always have 2 to 3 months worth of food on hand. I've always said that. And I've talked about like your long-term things like rice and legumes, like lentils and beans and things like that, to have canned goods on hand. And when you get canned goods, don't just get like canned corn and some green beans. No. Let me just share this. When you think about food storage and things that I need to go get, you need to think in terms of what kind of meals do you make? How many meals a day? Is it 3 meals a day and a snack, or is it 2 meals a day and a snack? What is it that you and your family like to eat? See, this is the thing. And it's not just really even with food, it's with everything. Just like one of the things that I was trying to prep on here recently too was weed killer. You know how I hate my weeds outside, and it's weed season again. So anyway, do I have enough weed killer out there to go and take care of all of that? I've always talked about your pets. Don't forget your pets. People forget their pets, That's another thing that I had to stock up on this time, because I let all my dog food and cat food run out, because you can only keep that stuff for about 1.5 years. And I would always, get it and then let it run out and then get more. Well, the last time that it ran out, I didn't get anything, because I thought, well, if something happens, I'll just go get it at the last minute. And so I had to stock up on that and cat litter, that sort of thing. I've always kept cleaning products on hand. I've always kept extra soap, extra toothpaste, extra shampoo, because when you're creating a storage, you're supposed to be thinking of your everyday life. What products am I using every day? How much of this and this and this do I go through in a week or in a month? And then, then that gives you your mathematics of how much of extra things that you need to have set aside. And I did have some bleach. I did buy a couple more gallons, because it never hurts. But I had bleach on hand. I had some disinfectant products on hand. I did need to get a little bit more, because it's not quite enough, because this virus is so icky, just to make sure you're spraying things down really good. And that sort of thing. So that's the best answer that I can give. What do I stock up on? Unfortunately, and we'll talk about this probably in the next video, unfortunately, you're in a place right now that it's really hard to build up a food storage. Now, I don't say totally dismiss the idea. I say if you have the monies to go and purchase things to set aside, I would say do so. The problem with that, at all the grocery stores now, it's getting very, very hard to find things. That's the situation we're in right now. This is why I always warned people, always have things set aside. I always knew something was going to happen. I thought it was going to be earthquakes or something, you know. Matter of fact, thinking of power running out and I would need water, and I do have a lot of water. And that's not to say that that wouldn't happen, because there's earthquakes that have been going on now too. So, you know, that's the thing. We just don't know what the days are going to bring. So that's why you just have to be prepared for any state of an emergency. But I thought things would just get really bad, mostly like earthquakes and stuff. I never foresaw, I should say, a pandemic like this. I mean, this I think is taking everybody by surprise, yet at the same time, those that, you know, set things aside, they're not so panicky right now as far as going to the store. See, when I started going to the store, basically it was, I knew I needed to get things for my pets. I knew I needed to get the perishable things. Perishable things means the things that you can't keep long term. Like cake mixes or cookies, potato chips, you know, anything like that, crackers, things like that. You know, they don't have a long shelf sustainability, so you have to use those things quickly. So I needed to get a lot of that. So that's about the best answer I can give you on that. In the next video, I think I will try to cover a little bit more on that subject there. And then you asked, how's our family doing? Our family, we're all doing well. Somebody else asked about my sons, if they're working. I think it might have been Monica. I'll find it in here. But yeah, I have my two sons that are working, you know, management over at Walmart. I mentioned that they were managers over there. My one son stepped back. He's not so into management anymore, but the one other son is. But they're there at the store still, because it's like the medical people, gas station people, your pharmacies, they all have to stay open. Your grocery stores have to stay open. And Walmart is declared a national emergency store. So they're there, they're still working. I want to throw this out before I forget. If any of you work in a grocery store, you know somebody working in a grocery store, or even Walmart, Target, anywhere that sells food, Aldi's, Trader Joe's, any grocery store chain, if you know somebody or a neighbor or anybody that's working at the stores, you know, give them your phone number and ask them when they get certain things into the store that they text you. Now, one thing that I have had plenty of, because over the years I have stocked, was toilet paper. And I want to get to the whole toilet paper thing, hopefully a little bit later. But I'm just throwing this out as an example. I have quite a bit, but it never hurts to maybe, you know, get an extra one, you know. So I did tell my son, when they get more toilet paper in, because they were completely out, I said, you know, give me a text, let me know. I'll come over and pick it up. And he called me earlier this week, and it was like 5:30 in the morning. And he called me and he said, well, we got some toilet paper in. The store opens at 7 o'clock, and I would recommend that you are right there at 7 o'clock because it'll be gone. So anyway, I showed up early. And there were a lot of cars in the parking lot. Nobody was there by the door. And then a few minutes before we were supposed to go in, I did get out, and I stood there by the door. Then other people started coming too. And we started chatting and getting everybody's opinion on what's going on and everything. But yeah, as soon as the doors opened, boom, I went right back. I got my toilet paper, and on the way out, I happened to see that they had some disinfectant wipes in too. So I grabbed some of those. I grabbed another box of tissues and I think some flushable wipes. And that was it. That's all I needed. So I wasn't there that long. But yeah, if you know somebody working at a store that can text you when things are coming in, if you're low on flour, hey, we got some flour in, whatever it is that you need. Only thing is, when they let you know what's in, you kind of need to just be on standby at all times where you can just drop things and go. Because trust me, other people are out of the same things that you're out of, and it will go quickly. So that's my best advice on that. Okay, let's see. Pocono Prepper, are you planning a garden this year? No, I'm not. And for my long-term, doing canning for my long-term storage, immediate consumption or both, or will it be bigger? No, I'm not going to do a garden this year. And I'm just going to be quite frank, because the news reports are coming out more and more about this virus. Like, for example, they said that it lived on surfaces. At first, they thought it was only 3 hours. Then more data comes out. Now it was like several days. And I think the last that I heard a couple days ago, that they're saying that this virus, they're thinking that it can last on a surface for up to like 17 days. That's why you really have to sterilize things. Even when you're getting things from Amazon, and I would try to slow down with deliveries and that sort of thing, because there's a lot of hands that are touching, But if you have, wipes or whatever, just kind of wipe everything down, have gloves on your hands, open your package, throw all that stuff away, and, that sort of thing. I would just be very careful about, all of that. That's just my opinion. But anyway, now they're talking about it being airborne. And I heard that, like if somebody coughed, it could last in the air a little bit for a few hours. And I'm rolling my eyes on that. I'm like, are we kidding? And especially when somebody's outside, breezes are blowing and that stuff begins to travel in the wind. Now they're saying that, yeah, it is airborne. They're starting to think that it's airborne. And so, I think we'll be going outside only when we need to go outside. And that's just basically cutting your grass, any trimmings that you have to do. And of course, the masks are going to have to be on, gloves are going to have to be on, everything. So the least little bit that I can be outside is what I'm going to do. And quite frankly, those of you that you've been with me and through the spring, through the summer, you know how I love to be out on my deck. I like sitting out on my swing. I like all my plantings, my flower pots and all that, but that's stopping. And let me just say this, and I don't say this because I'm not trying to scare anybody, but I just think that if we all sit down and think about it and think about reality, I think that we're going to come to the conclusion, and if some people's not coming to the conclusion now, I think at some point here soon, people are going to start coming to the conclusion that our way of life and how we used to live, those days are like gone. People are hoping that things are going to get better. Well, you get new cases every day. You get more deaths every day. And with more cases, that's more people to infect other people. Look at it. Even China, they thought that they had it under control, but more cases now are coming about. And I think one report, I'm not for sure on this, you have to do your own homework on this, but I thought that I saw on social media there was an article about what they think potentially might be a different kind of strain of coronavirus, because I guess the strain mutates anyway as it goes from one person to the next. But I think over there in China they got another problem. That's what this article said. Things are not getting better in Italy. Things are not getting better in Spain. And my friend Louisa, she lives in Spain, and she's talking about how bad things are there. It's just getting bad, my friends. And this virus is so deadly, and it's so contagious. So I don't see how better days are ahead of us here. That I just listen. I don't say this to strike fear in anybody. I say this it's really to help you, because I think the moment that we just own up to it, hey, This is our reality now. This is the way that it is. I think we'll learn to deal with things and process things a lot better. It's when people are hoping things are going to get better, but they see things getting worse or whatever. That's what causes the fear. That's what causes the panic and everything. And I'll talk a little bit more later on this, but yeah, I just think we just need to slow down for a minute and let's think. Let's really think about what we're seeing in the news with the numbers and everything. So yeah, so no, I'm not going to be out with my garden this year. I seriously doubt it. I mean, if things did get better and I changed my mind, but I don't foresee that. Okay, so happy. You're one of the ones that want to know about stocking the pantry and the essential items. That's going to be the special video just for you. That I'm going to know it's for everybody, but because of your question, I'm going to do a separate video on that one. So that's not here. Let's see, Kelly, you said please do a YouTube video on breads. I might try to do so. I'm going to try to remember to put in the show more Mary's Nest. And if I forget to put the link to her latest video on no yeast breads, her name is Mary's Nest. Nest, like a bird's nest. So just go to her channel. And she does all kinds of cooking, and she has all kinds of really good tips and everything. And the latest video she did was a no yeast bread. There's also Irish soda bread, and you can put raisins in but leave raisins out. With that, you have to have baking soda. Mary's Nest, the recipe that she used for this no yeast bread, and it looked really good, she used baking powder. So for So Happy, there's some staple items that you need. Make sure that you have flour. If you can get yeast. Yeast is really hard to find now. Make sure you can get some yeast. If you can't, get baking soda, get baking powder, get some sugar, things like that. So if you're having to make bread. So there's that on the bread. And if I am making bread, I'll maybe try to do some videos on that. Okay, Heart of a Homemaker. You said, I have started rewatching some of your videos to grab a few recipes I remember that you shared in the past. I also love that you wake with mission and have always been the heart of your home and a woman that truly builds her home. Thank you. That's so nice. Thank you. My spirit is drawn to that in your videos. The preparations and love you put into your home and family. What advice would you give to a mother entering into the time where kids are coming back into the home after leaving home and coming? Well, yeah, and that's going to be happening a lot too, because be prepared for grandbabies coming back and everything, because things are going to get really bad out there. What tips do I have? Make sure you have a lot of clean bed linens, and make sure that you are starting to get preps. Okay, and I saw the second part of your question where you just said that your kids are in college but are needing a place to ground a bit before finding that direction. Well, yeah, they're going to be coming home, and before there's any direction, as I've already stated, things in this world for all of us, and I'm not talking about in America, I'm talking about all around the globe. It doesn't matter what country you live in. This coronavirus is touching everybody, and the effects of it is touching everybody. And even talking about, stocking your home with what foods and staples that you can get and that sort of thing, it's the same advice for everybody around the world, and other people around the world are already doing it. They've been doing it. We're all in the same situation, and so everything, all the different tips and solutions and stuff is going to apply to all of us. But yeah, your college kids are going to come home. And something else that I'm going to say too, in regard to kids being out of school, kids getting out of college and that sort of thing, I don't know if they're ever going to go back to school, or if they do, it's going to be a long, long while, before they go back. I don't think this is something lickety-split in 2-3 weeks. Everything's going to be back to order. No, it's not. China has been in this mess since, I think, the end of December. It really started to get bad in January. And then, like I said, then it started hitting Europe really bad and everything. And you can see it's not getting under control. And the thing is, these folks have been on lockdown. They've been doing those things too. But some people, they can't stay in place. People want to get out. They want to go get some fresh air and everything. And that's the thing. Then they're going out and they're talking with people. They're not doing the social distancing. So that's no good, right? And we can see the effects of it. Things are not getting better. Things are getting worse. So the best thing, let me just tell you where I'm at on all of this. I just say stay home. Only go out if you have to. If you had a doctor's appointment, which doctors are canceling appointments and so forth. They're only taking patients that they really need to see. And doctors aren't operating unless it's something mandatory that has to be done, because they want the ventilators available to be used. So that's why I say, friends, listen, let's just all calm down. There's a world crisis going on. The only thing that you can do about it is make sure that you and your family have the things that you need. You stay home. If you believe in God and you're a praying person, I would be doing that. I'd be doing a lot of that. I'd be looking at myself. I would be making your peace with God and trying to just repent of your sins. Let's just put it that way. Repent of everything. And make things right with God. That's really what I would be doing right now. Yeah, I'll just let that go there. Maybe I'll talk a little bit more about all that later. But yeah, life as we know it. Yeah, we're in a place that life as you know it, business as usual, is no longer the same. And will it ever be the same? That's the question. Will it ever be the same? Okay. Let's see. These are just general, just comments to me. Let's see here. Shiat. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but you said some meal ideas from pantry staples. What items do you think are important to keep on hand? Yeah, I'll cover that later. Jacqueline, you asked, do you still store? Meaning, I guess my stock. Yeah, I do. Can I update on the best ways to store them? Yeah, I will do that. Okay, so I'm going to switch over now to the YouTube questions, and then I'll say goodbye here for this video, and then we'll do the next one. But I got to switch over now to YouTube. Okay, Sarah from Germany. You asked, how are you? I'm doing good. I'm doing very well. You said, will you do new videos or vlogs like recipes, garden, everyday life, kitchen chat? And then you're still asking for a P.O. box. Would like to send you something because I like you for such a long time. Oh, that's so nice of you. Yeah, P.O. boxes, it's kind of... I just already talked about, you know, getting things delivered to your home. It's like hands touching everything. That's kind of, and not talking about your hands. I'm talking about, you know, when you go to your post office and then all the hands that touch that till it comes here, and then more hands touching it till it gets to my house. That's the problem with that. But maybe, I don't know, we can work something out. I don't know. But anyway, the recipes and all of that, I am going to be doing some more videos for you guys, because I know that you guys being cooped up in your house, that's one of the things I'm doing too, is I'm going to my YouTube channels that I subscribe to, and I'm watching, you know, just trying to keep my mind off of things I don't want my mind on. And I think everybody, yeah, especially if people didn't prepare for a crisis, and yeah, you're wanting to know what can I make with the things I have in my house, that sort of thing. So I'll try to do that too. And what do I think about the corona? Yeah, I've answered a lot of that, but maybe I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the video. And then word from the wise. Hello, sweet lady. I'm so happy to see you. Miss you dearly. YouTube is where I see you. I don't have other accounts. I would love to hear your take on all that's going on with this virus. So yeah, I've kind of answered a whole lot of that, but like I said, I'll try to wrap up a little bit more here at the end. Robin Cook, you just said welcome back. Michelle, you said, how are you keeping busy during quarantine? I'm going crazy inside. Well, like I said, you just find things to preoccupy yourself. Just start watching YouTube videos. The other thing is too, even if a lot of the people that I watch their channels, if they're not putting videos out, I'm thinking of things that I want to research or I want to educate myself on. Even historical things, you know. And you can always go to YouTube and find a whole bunch of learning videos and that sort of thing. And I just sit there and watch that because I won't watch the junk on TV, pretty basically. The only thing I'm watching on television, we have it on, but it's not that I sit there to watch it. It's just on. But we have Andy Griffith because it was on Netflix a while ago, and we had all the seasons. I put it in my list so you could just turn it on. And I like that because it's, you know, early 1960s through the 60s, you know, when life was a whole lot wholesome than it is now. And just to have that, you know, and I grew up in the 60s and 70s. And so, yeah, I'll do that, and I'll watch YouTube videos. Or I'm playing games with my kids. I'm cleaning. I'm reading my Bible a lot. I'm praying a lot. Yeah, I will take time during the day. I just go off. I go up in my office and I just pray. And I think that's something that all of us should be doing, you know. Yeah, because especially that virus, highly contagious and everything. So that's my answer for that. Then Willow's Garden, you asked, I hope you and your family are doing great. We really miss you. Take care. Thank you. Then Michelle, you came back and said, do you have any tips for pantry meals? I will get to that in the other video. Peggy Miller, you said thank you. Louisa, she's from Spain, and she's been doing some vlogging about being locked down and that sort of thing. Her name is Louisa. So that's Louisa, and her last name is Dubickas, Dubickas. So Louisa Dubickas, and so if you go to her channel, that's her channel name, you just go there, and she's a stay-at-home mom too. She's got 4 kids, and she's Scottish, her husband's English. I've shared her channel before, and they live in Spain. And right now, yeah, she's talking about how the virus is affecting everybody over there in Spain. So you go check her channel out. Then Renee R., you said, hi Sandy, nice to see you. I hope you and your family are doing well. We are doing well. Trish Steins, you asked, how is Alex? Alex is doing good. Alex started talking. He's been talking. He's been saying, I love you. He says, thank you. He's drawing now, you know. Yeah, so he's advanced a whole lot here lately. So he's doing very well. He's with his mom. We felt, well, I left it, you know, for Joe and Alex's mom to work it out amongst themselves. But it was actually my suggestion to Joe. I said, listen, I don't think that it's a good idea to be getting everybody out, you know, her family, you, to go and for these meetups a couple times a week and transporting the kid and all of that. And like I said, this virus, I've always thought it was airborne too. That when at first they were saying it wasn't airborne. I'm like, almost everything's airborne. Sorry. Especially when people are coughing and everything, everything's airborne. In my opinion. That's my opinion. I'm not a scientist, but that's my opinion, okay? And so, yeah, I just didn't think that it was a healthy idea to be doing that. And so I said, Josiah, you're just going to have to ask her, does she want to just go ahead and keep Alex during this time? Do you want to keep Alex? You two work it out. And because, she's the mom, they thought it was best that Alex is with his mom. And I think that that's a good idea, that he's there with her and her family. And it's better that everybody is indoors staying safe. That's the way that we look at it. So, but he's doing very well. And his teachers, when he was going to school still, his teachers were blown away by a lot of the advancements and speaking and all of that was coming about. They were really impressed with how things are going now for him. Then you said, is your husband still enjoying retirement? He's enjoying retirement, but when people retire, I think most of them enjoy retirement. Sometimes they get a little bit stir crazy. The question doesn't need to go to the person who's retired, but it needs to go to the other people that live with that person. Because I would have to say, yeah, sometimes he gets antsy, and, he wanders through the house like a nomad, and he's walking around, wandering outside. I got to get in the car and just go for a drive and things like that. It's like, for like me, when the dogs have to go out, how many times you see me in the videos, the dogs got to go out. I open the door, I let them go. No, he'll go out there with them, So, yeah, he gets a little bit stir crazy. He's enjoying retirement, I will say. Yeah, he's glad he doesn't have to get up and go do all of that anymore. So he's enjoying it. But, yeah, he's a house nomad. He's a wanderer. He's just getting underfoot, And then you asked, how is my mom doing? I'm assuming that she's okay. I haven't been talking with her a lot because I was quite busy, as you know, back like in the fall. I was going with my daughter. We were traveling a lot. We were going to Kenya, and then we'd come back home. And then I'm a pastor, and so there's meetings, there were activity things that we were doing, and just really busy and just kind of, I wasn't talking to her as much as I normally talk to her, but the last that I know, I think she's doing very well. Then how are the kids doing? The kids are all doing very well. Like I said, 2 of the boys are working, and that's not changed for them, but everybody's doing good. Adam just had a birthday. Let's see. Are your kids having to work? Yes, so I answered that. How are the dogs doing? And how are you doing? Okay, so the dogs, they're doing well, but they're older now, and I can put my glasses back on. And Chloe is doing okay. She's been panting a lot. I think she's got some pain going on somewhere. I know she's got a bad hip, and I think maybe, when she lays a certain way, she'll pant, like when she gets up to reposition herself, and I think it's just that she's hurting. Ellie is doing good, but she's got, it's called Cushing's. Lacey has Addison's, and Cushing's is the opposite of Addison's, but both of them need to be on medicines to help them not to, have the issue with the incontinency, having to go to the bathroom and everything. So as long as they're taking the medicines and everything, they're doing good. Same thing with Lacey. She still has the Addison, so she still has to go once a month for her shot. She still has her steroid. She has to take, and that's what Ellie's on, a steroid too, but hers is a liquid kind, and Lacey's is by pill form. Lacey, how old is she? She was born 2013, so this summer she'll be 7. And Chloe, the beginning of the month, just turned 10, and Ellie will be 10 in May. Yeah. And it's a little bit sad, a little bit, because boxers, their lifespan is usually generally around 10. One boxer that we had, he was 10. He was almost 11, but he was still 10 when he died. 2 other boxers, Lucy and another one we had, her name was Noah. when they were 10, they died. And so, here's these two. They're 10 now this year. And so, but I'll just tell you, with everything crazy in the world, obviously I'll be sad, but I don't think I'll be like super sad like I've been with the other pets. Things are just crazy right now. They're just crazy. And again, from my point of view as being a pastor, I'm just going to say, as a born-again Christian, I'm a pastor too, but even if I wasn't a pastor, as a born-again Christian, I have always believed that Jesus is coming back. You hear, Jesus is coming. And it's biblical, okay? It's right there in the Bible. And I do believe that Messiah is coming. There is what is called the rapture, and then there's a 7-year tribulation period, and then there's what's called the second coming, when Jesus comes back to rule and reign, and everybody comes back with him. But we haven't reached that point yet. The rapture hasn't even happened. But do I believe as a Christian, because other Christians, you subscribe to my channel, so I'm especially talking to you. Do I believe that the rapture is very near? I believe it's very near. I believe that we're living in the time now that it could be any day at this point. Seriously, at any time. And Jesus even said that we're supposed to be looking for his coming. And he gave us signs of things that would happen before he would come. And there would be chaos in the world and everything. And this is definitely chaos going on right now. So for myself, because I'm a born-again Christian, because I do believe Jesus is coming to take Christians out of the judgment of God that's going to be going on the earth, and that's really what that means. Yeah, that is my belief, and I'm doing everything that I can within myself to just make everything right with the Lord, and I'm repenting, and I'm asking God when I pray, show me things that I have to change about myself. And at this point in this hour, I'm desperate. I'll change anything. I'll do whatever I have to do to just make sure that I'm ready to leave. Because as a Christian, I know about that 7-year tribulation period, and I know that it's no good and it's going to be horrendous. And if we look at this coronavirus, what it's doing right now, if the tribulation is upon us, there's all kinds of other things. You just read the book of Revelation, a lot of things are going to happen. And I certainly don't want to be here for that, because I don't even want to be here for this coronavirus. Look at how it's having us all shut into our homes. Okay? So for me, Jesus said that if we repent, though, and we give our lives to him, and, we become born again people, that's what the rapture is all about, that snatching those folks away, where people will disappear one day. And I know a lot of people don't want to believe that. And if you don't believe that, that's your choice. I'm just saying for myself, that's what I believe. I am a Bible believing Christian, and I do understand the Bible. And I know what the Bible says. I see the things that are happening, and for myself, I don't want to be here for anything else that's going to get worse in this world. I just don't. And so for me, I love the Lord anyway. So, I just want to please him anyway. I want to be obedient to his commandments and his set of rules that he has for us. And I'm walking my life as cleanly and righteously as possible, And I just want to say here too, that I have always been the person that I will apologize to people if I've wronged people. If people have ever wronged me, I forgive people right away. I do. But if I have ever offended anybody, and I'm not talking offense that I say something and somebody doesn't agree with it because your opinion's different than mine. To each his own. Your opinion's your opinion. My opinion's my opinion. So I'm not talking about that, because there's a lot of that goes on in the world too. Oh, you hurt my feelings because you said this, that, the other thing. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if I ever just deliberately hurt anybody, because that's one thing that I'm doing now too. If I think that I have offended anybody, I just want to clear the air with people, because we have to be at peace with all men, you know. And I've always tried to do this along the way in life, but I'm just putting it out there that if I've ever offended anybody, that people are forgiven. And I just want to say that for people who have offended me, and I'm not talking about just like offend, I'm talking about just being, I've had people be vicious to me, especially being on social media. All those people are forgiven, and those people were forgiven right away. And just very quickly to end this video, this is why I was MIA since about 2017 going into 2018. It's almost like I disappeared, and the only reason why I came back with videos in that short period of time, because people were asking me, you know, Sandy, you're going to come back, you're going to make videos and that sort of thing. And so I would come back and I would do, you know, a few videos, and then I would take long breaks again. So I just want to quickly put this out here. Some people, a few people, I had to remove from my social media accounts. Facebook, here, Instagram, I removed a few people. People who were instigators and what I call pot stirrers, that they deliberately caused problems. Then some people felt that they could just go on their own, and that was good for me. I thank those people that removed themselves. Okay, let me just say this. In the course of being on social media since 2007, you know, starting with MySpace, yeah, you get people, you know, you butt heads with each other, you know, whatever, people unfriend you, whatever. I had to unfriend some people at times because I don't put up with nonsense, and especially when people get ugly. I just, bye-bye. I don't have no time to deal with that. One of you out there, I still think about this all the time when you answered me in a comment talking about people that are keyboard warriors. That they're you know, just they got something they got to say to you, pluck, 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 pluck on the keyboard to just come at you, you know. But I've had lots of that went on in all of this time that I was on social media. And at times it did hurt my feelings, and I would cry. And I would cry when it was people that I felt that I built like a friendship with them. Strangers or whatever, I didn't care. But people that I felt that I built a friendship with, yeah, I would cry. And then after a while, God gave me a strong backbone. It's like, let it roll off your back like water off a duck's back. Just let it go. Let those people go. And I got to a point, I was in a good place with having to deal with that sort of thing. Coming here on YouTube, you know, seeing ridiculous comments, you just delete the comment, and some of the people, if they were really bad, you have to, you know, block them too. But in 2000, and started in 2017, there was one person, I was friends with her for a long time, and about 8 years. And I don't know, she was just misunderstanding me on some things. And when I did talk to her, she really totally had something so misunderstood. And the thing is, instead of her subposting, and subposting is, you know, when you're irritated about somebody or whatever and you make a post, and you'll do it like generalizing it for everybody, but you're aiming it at one person. That's called subposting. And she was subposting about me, and I knew it was about me. And so, you know, after all this trouble started, I did contact her, and she wasn't even going to talk to me. I had to force her to talk to me. And I had to clear the air with her for something that she had totally misunderstood. And I'm sure all of you can relate to this. You know how sometimes that we imagine things in our mind? Like we see something or hear something, and then we start making assumptions about a person. And that's very dangerous to do that. Because you make assumptions, and those assumptions, the majority of the time, they're false assumptions. And then when you become accusatory towards a person, then they become false accusations. You see what I'm saying? And I think this is what was happening. She was misunderstanding something. She was seeing in her mind, believing a certain way about me or whatever, and she let that eat at her and eat at her instead of her coming to me, and we could have cleared it up right away. But no, it went out of hand. Well, months went on with that, and then at the beginning of 2018, I did a Facebook Live. I did a lot of my Bible teachings over there and everything. And again, when I share something, if people don't believe what I have to say, it's your choice. You don't have to believe. But I shared something that I believe, and what it was really about is about being righteous and being holy in your manner and just even how you dress, everything. So anyway, well, they didn't like it. And there was a gang, I want to say almost about 12 people. And these were people, all my friends that had been my friends for years. One person was my friend for like 11 years. 11 years. First was my friend on MySpace all those years ago. And they all just attacked me. And I mean, they attacked me. And I didn't answer. I answered people in private messages when they came to me, but that was it. The thing that got really ugly and out of hand right there on social media, I didn't answer any of that. And it went on for a few days, maybe almost a week, and I just said, that's it. And then I walked away. I just walked away. And I didn't answer. I wasn't going to try to defend myself or justify myself, because as a Christian, and these were all Christians, by the way. All these people were, they say they're Christians anyway. But see, I did the Christ-like thing. See, the Bible says that God fights our battles. And Proverbs says the best answer that you can give a person is no answer. Don't answer a fool to his folly. Don't answer. So that's what I did. I buttoned it up. James, in the book of James, he talks about how the tongue is set on fire from hell, because the vicious things and the sinful things that come out of our mouth can just be evil, So I closed it up. I didn't say anything. I didn't defend myself. I let God just handle everything. But I was watching what was going on there for a while, maybe 6 weeks or something like that. And these people, they started lying about me. Now, maybe they don't think that they were lying, because they were assuming things, presuming things. And those assumptions and presumptions, like I said, the majority of the time, they're wrong. People didn't come to me to ask me anything. They just started putting their lies out there. And they were gossiping with one another in messages. I had some people that they were trying to drag other people in that were sending me, look at what they're saying about you, and that sort of thing. And, when you gossip behind somebody's back, that's wrong. When you then take that gossip and you put it in a public forum, in a public place, that gossip now is slander. It's slander. And there was one person that got involved in all of that too, and really said some slanderous things that I actually had considered. Seriously, I considered getting an attorney. But then, the Lord said, no, just let it go. I'll deal with them. Let it go. So I did. Let it go. And these people, they're away from me now, and that's a good thing. They separated themselves, and that there's just been a separation, and that separation has been so good for me. And but I will say this, and the Bible talks about in the end days, before the rapture, before Jesus would come, Jesus even said a separation would come. Hey, how about that? Separation. And so, yeah, those folks, they're doing whatever they do now. I don't talk to any of them, but I forgave them right away. And I have to say this, that I didn't cry. That's how far God brought me from before in dealing with people doing things like that. how it hurt me to just didn't hurt me anymore. Like I said, I'm in a whole lot better place that those folks have removed themselves from me. And I have plenty of other friends. And I even have real life friends. I even had people even say that I had no friends in real life. I do have friends in real life. And I have plenty of other people that keep me busy, that I can talk to, that I don't need that. And I'll have to say, 2018, it was a quiet year. And that's why I got off of YouTube, because I had shared so much of my life with everybody. I have always been an open, honest book to everybody. And what you see is what you get. I have said this many times in my videos. But I wasn't going to put my life out there anymore. That's what I just said. It's just, I'm not doing it. Many times I picked up this camera to go and to make a video, and even started making certain segments, and it's like, I'd put the camera down. Forget it. No, just don't want no part of it. So then 2019 got here, and I have to tell you, all of us in our lifetime, we have these years, like this one year, this was the best year of my life. But then later, then this year came along, and this was the best year of my life. I've had that too all throughout my life. But I have to say that 2019 was a tremendous year, and it was a year that just topped everything. It was seriously like the best year of my life, 2019, and full of so many blessings in my life. And I just even saw in 2019 just how God is so good, and how much God loves me, how much he loves my family. And it was just a great year. So here we are now, 2020, and now we got this virus that we're dealing with. But all I know still is God is good, and God still loves mankind. And God, in his faithfulness, gives man time to repent, and to do what is right. And so that's all I'm going to say. I brought everybody up to speed with answering your questions and giving you a little detailed reason of my myself being missing in action here since 2018 in particularly. And everything works itself out in the end if you just let it. The more that we get involved and try to help the situation, we let our flesh side get the best of us, we can make things really, really bad. So when God said, just be quiet, I'll take care of it, he did. He took care of it. And then, like I said, I had a year that was just quiet in 2018, and I did a lot of soul searching, reflecting, and things like that. Had a lot of downtime because I wasn't with the camera, and I kept myself busy with my church activities and things like that. But then once 2019 came, it was like the year went by super fast, but it was a super, super good year. It was really good. So anyway, I love all of you. I thank all of you for hanging in there, waiting for me to come back. And I will try getting some more videos out because I know we're in this time of crisis, and sometimes we just want to hear somebody who can help us and comfort us a little bit, and I'll do that. So anyway, you guys take care, and I'll see you next time.